Let's talk about the Texans situation. Will Fuller, I mean, this man.
That shit pissed me off. Like,
that's your boy. You had him everywhere. I have him in every
redraft league that I did this season because he was a stone value in the 6th round, 5th round, sometimes even in the 7th round, depending who you're drafting with, if they don't know what they're doing. And he's having a phenomenal season, doesn't miss one game. Well, come to find out, he stays healthy because he's on roids. And I just blame Brian Cushing, okay? Brian Cushing, known for using PEDs, is on the Texans' athletic training staff.
You think that's the supplier?
He's definitely the supplier. And then Bradley Roby also got suspended for 6 games, probably using the same PEDs that Will Fuller used. And they definitely got it from Brian Cushing. Brian Cushing can eat a fat dick, to be honest. Because I blame him.
That's a nasty party to think about. Just the 3 of them shooting out pets together in Houston.
It's probably some supplemental pills that had, whatever's in steroids. I don't fucking know. Whatever's in steroids, they just kept on popping the pills all season and finally got caught in week 12, week 13, right before the fantasy playoffs. Thanks, Will Fuller. Shout out to you.
That's a tough scene. Now we're going to have, a 6th year of me in the offseason being able to say that Will Fuller has not gone for over 900 yards in ever. So shout out to me because I know I'm going to be saying that in about 4 months from now. But let's talk about the actual Week 13 fallout. We have Brandon Cooks, who I think to me is the standout play at 5,600, but people are going to be looking to play Kiki Cutie, who's 3,500, and Isaiah Coulter, who I think figures to step in as the 1-for-1 replacement. I don't think that QT's role changes that much outside of maybe, another target or 2, but it doesn't really affect how he'll be, used on the field. QT will remain in the slot, and I think it's Isaiah Coulter who will see the biggest boost in playing time.
I think Coulter's playing time will increase the most, obviously, because he's been operating as like the Texans wide receiver 6 before, injuries, and they waived Kenny Stills, and now Will Fuller's done. So he's obviously going to be in the mix now, but I think Kiki Cootie's role will expand. I kind of disagree with you on that. I think he will be the Texans wide receiver 2 from this point moving forward, at least until Randall Cobb gets back, if he comes back this season. So at 3,500, I think he's going to be the highest owned Texans wide receiver just because he is 3,500 and Brandon Cooks is 5,600. And then I don't think Coulter will have any ownership at all. I mean, I don't think people are going to play a minimum price bum who we have no idea how many snaps he's going to play, if he's even a talented wide receiver. So I don't think anybody's going to go there, and people will play Cootie for sure. People will play Cooks for sure at 5,600. And, I think they're good plays. Obviously not an ideal matchup going up against one of the better defenses in the NFL, but the Colts defense has gotten exposed in recent weeks. So I wouldn't be too scared of the matchup. And I would expect Cootie to be more owned than Brandon Cooks, I think, but I could be wrong on that.
I could see it, just because of the price discrepancy, but which of the 2 would you personally be more inclined to play? Because for me, I think it's Cooks. I just think that there's more upside, and I think that he's a better player, and I think that Deshaun Watson will lean on him more heavily, in the absence of Will Fuller.
Yeah, I think that's fair to assume that. Personally, I think I would lean taking the savings, almost 2,000 in savings to Cootie. He'd probably be the better point per dollar play and would allow you some flexibility in your cash game lineup, to maybe fit those 2 high priced running backs and some of the receivers that we're going to talk about in a couple seconds. So my lean right now would be Cootie over Cooks, but I really don't fault anybody for playing Cooks. Especially with no Will Fuller there anymore. He's going to get peppered with targets.